There's something particularly satisfying about watching a man confidently tell you to get out of his house when you literally own the deed. That satisfaction triples when police escort him out instead. I'm Nina Rodriguez, 35 years old. Last week, my husband of 7 years, Tyler Brooks, came home and said, "I want a divorce, and I want you out of my house. This is my property. I pay the mortgage. You need to leave by the weekend." His girlfriend, Lauren, his 26-year-old coworker, was waiting in the car, ready to move into his house the moment I left. What Tyler didn't know, what he'd never bothered to verify in 7 years of marriage, was that I'd bought that house 9 years ago. $420,000, my name alone on the deed, my down payment, my mortgage payments for 9 years. He'd lived there for 7 years, contributing only utilities, about $200 a month, and somehow convinced himself that made it his house. When I showed him the property records, the look on his face was priceless. When I called the police and had him removed for attempted illegal eviction, even better. This is the story of how my husband's ignorance about basic property law cost him everything. Before I tell you what the officers said when they saw the deed, before you hear what Lauren said when she realized she'd been lied to, smash that like button now. Subscribe for property ownership justice stories. Drop your city. This is about deeds beating delusion. 9 years ago, I was 26, software engineer at a fintech startup, making $95,000 a year, living frugally, saving aggressively. By 26, I'd saved $90,000, down payment money for a house in Austin, Texas. Market was heating up. I wanted to buy before prices got crazy. I found a house, 3-bedroom craftsman, $420,000, put down 20%. $84,000, my savings. Mortgage in my name only, Nina Rodriguez. My credit, my income, my responsibility. $1,500 a month including taxes and insurance. For 2 years, I lived there alone, paid every mortgage payment, did all the maintenance, landscaping, repairs, everything. My house. Then I met Tyler Brooks at a mutual friend's barbecue. He was charming, funny, working as an accountant, making $62,000. We hit it off. After a year of dating, his lease ended. He asked, "Can I move in? We're together all the time anyway." I said yes. Love, optimism, trust. He moved in. I never asked him to pay rent. He offered to cover utilities, cable, internet, water, electric, about $200 a month total. I continued paying the $1,500 mortgage, property taxes, insurance, homeowners association fees, all the real costs of ownership. We got married a year later. Simple courthouse wedding. My house became our home in conversation, but legally, still mine. Nina Rodriguez on the deed, not Nina Brooks, because I'd bought it before marriage and never changed the title. For 7 years, Tyler lived in my house. We renovated the kitchen. I paid $12,000 for it. We redid the master bathroom. I paid $8,000. We added a deck. I paid $6,000. All improvements paid from my income, all documented, all my investment. Tyler contributed utilities, $200 a month, for 7 years, $16,800 total. I paid the mortgage, $1,500 a month, for 9 years, $162,000, plus the $84,000 down payment, plus $26,000 in renovations. I'd paid $272,000 into that house. But Tyler started referring to it as his house, my property, my investment. At parties, "Welcome to my home." To friends, I'm thinking of adding a pool to my backyard. To contractors, this is my house. What's the estimate? I'd correct him sometimes. It's our house. But I meant emotionally, not legally. Legally, it was mine. He took it literally, started believing he owned it, that marriage meant automatic co-ownership, that living somewhere for 7 years created ownership rights. It didn't. Texas is not a community property state for premarital assets. The house was mine, completely. Last month, everything changed. Last month, I noticed Tyler being secretive, phone turned face down, working late, weekend work emergencies. I'm a software engineer. I know technology. I checked our cell phone account, data usage, app activity, patterns. He was texting someone constantly, using apps I didn't recognize, encrypted messaging. I installed recovery software on our home computer. Legally, it's my computer in my house. Recovered deleted files, deleted browser history, deleted photos. Found everything. Tyler and Lauren, his coworker from the accounting firm, 26-year-old junior auditor. 6 months of an affair. Photos, messages, plans. I'm going to leave Nina. We can be together once I get the house in the divorce. The house. My house. He planned to get it in the divorce, thought it was marital property he could claim. I consulted a divorce lawyer, Rebecca Santos, showed him everything, the affair evidence, the property deed, the mortgage records. She said, Texas law is clear. Premarital property remains separate. You bought the house before marriage, never added him to the deed. It's yours completely. He has zero claim. I said, he thinks he owns it. He keeps calling it his house. She said, thinking doesn't make it so. The deed makes it so, and your name is the only one on it. I said, what happens in the divorce? She said, you keep the house, he keeps whatever he brought into the marriage, which appears to be student loan debt and a car. You might owe him something for his contribution to household expenses, but given he only paid utilities while you paid the mortgage, that's minimal. Maybe $10,000 at most. I said, he's going to fight this. She said, let him. He'll lose. Property records don't lie. I decided to wait. See if Tyler would confess. Give him a chance to be honest. He didn't. Instead, he escalated. Last week, Tuesday evening, Tyler came home. Different energy. Confident. Determined. He said, Nina, we need to talk. I'm ending this. Our marriage. I'm in love with someone else. I want a divorce. I said, okay. He looked surprised. Okay? That's it? I said, if you want a divorce, I'm not going to beg you to stay. He said, good, because I've made my decision. I'm moving on with Lauren. We're starting our life together. I said, all right, we'll need to figure out asset division, lawyers, the process. He said, I've already thought about that. Here's what's going to happen. You need to move out of this house. By the weekend. I'll give you a few $1,000s to help with the transition, but this is my house. I pay for it. I deserve it. I stared at him. You pay for it? He said, yes, I pay the mortgage, the bills. This is my house, my property. You can find your own place. I said, Tyler, you don't pay the mortgage. You pay utilities, $200 a month. I pay the mortgage, $1,500 a month for 9 years. He said, we're married. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. I've lived here 7 years. This is community property, and I'm claiming it. I said, community property doesn't apply to premarital assets. I bought the house before we married. He said, that doesn't matter. I've been paying for it. I've invested in it. It's mine now. I said, you've invested $16,800 in utilities over 7 years. I've invested $272,000. It's not the same. He said, I don't care about your math. This is my house, and I'm telling you to leave by the weekend, or I'll have you removed. I said, removed from my own house? He said, my house. Lauren's waiting in the car. She's moving in this weekend. You need to be gone. I said, I'm not going anywhere. He said, then I'll make you leave. I'll call the police, have you removed for trespassing. I said, Tyler, do you want to see the deed? He said, I don't need to see anything. I know my rights. This is my house. I pulled out my phone, opened the county property records, official government website, showed him the screen. Property address, 2847 Maple Street. Owner, Nina Rodriguez. Purchase date, 9 years ago. Deed holder, Nina Rodriguez. Mortgage holder, Nina Rodriguez. He looked at the screen, confused. That must be old. We got married. It probably updated. I said, I never changed the deed. It's still in my name. Only my name. I own this house. You live in my house. You've been living here for 7 years. He said, that's impossible. I pay for this house? I said,